The air in the small barangay of Cavite was thick with the smell of fried fish and the sound of children playing in the dusty streets. Inside a modest home with cracked walls and mismatched furniture, Sofia Mallares, just 12 years old, sat cross-legged on the floor with a broken guitar resting on her lap. The strings were old, some a little out of tune, but the melody she pulled out of it had a purity that stilled even the neighborhood noise outside. Her mother, Aling Maritz, listened from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her faded apron. She always knew her daughter had something rare, an almost heavenly tone, the kind that lifted even the heaviest burdens. Their family didn't have much. Her father worked overseas as a mechanic, often sending home just enough for food and school fees. But when Sofia sang, the house seemed less empty, as if every corner was filled with light. That night, after finishing her homework by candlelight, Sofia whispered to her mother, "Mama, do you think I'll ever sing on a big stage? Like on The Voice Kids?" Her mother's eyes softened. She crouched down beside her daughter, brushing Sofia's long, jet-black hair away from her face. "Anak, your voice is a gift. If it is God's will, people will hear it. Don't stop dreaming." The words rooted deep in Sofia's heart. She hugged her mother tightly, her small hands trembling. For the first time, she dared to believe that her voice might carry her beyond the boundaries of their small home, beyond the dusty streets, and into the hearts of people she hadn't even met. That night, as she fell asleep, she dreamed of lights, bright, golden, and blinding, while she sang to an audience that seemed to stretch into infinity. Weeks later, with a borrowed dress and shoes a size too big, Sofia and her mother boarded a crowded jeepney bound for the studio. The journey was long and hot, but Sofia clutched her dream tightly, humming softly to calm her nerves. When they arrived at the audition hall, the place buzzed with children, some rehearsing, some pacing nervously, some crying from the overwhelming pressure. Sofia felt her knees weaken. "Mama, maybe I'm not ready," she whispered. Her mother held her shoulders firmly. "You were born ready, Sofia. Remember, sing from your heart." When it was her turn, Sofia stepped onto the stage, facing the massive red chairs of the celebrity coaches. Her tiny frame seemed swallowed by the vastness of the set. The audience watched curiously, some whispered, unsure if this fragile-looking girl could hold her own. Then the music began. She sang, "Bukas na lang kita mamahalan," her voice trembling at first, but soon blossoming into something powerful yet tender, filled with a maturity far beyond her years. The coaches exchanged glances, their eyes widening. One by one, the chairs began to turn. The audience erupted, clapping and cheering. By the time Sofia finished, tears streamed down her face. All 4 coaches were standing. "Sofia," one coach said, "your voice is once in a lifetime. It's not just talent, it's soul. You don't just sing the notes, you make us feel them." Sofia clasped her hands over her mouth, overwhelmed. For the first time, she realized the dream she whispered in her small room had leapt into reality. She had arrived. Weeks turned into months of rehearsals, vocal coaching, and long days away from home. Sofia often missed her mother, who stayed outside the studio, waiting for hours just to catch a glimpse of her after training. But each time she sang, she felt her mother's strength guiding her. During the battle rounds, Sofia was paired with 2 other strong contestants. They were tasked to sing a powerful OPM ballad, "Hanggang." The other kids were talented, technically flawless, confident in their gestures. Sofia, however, approached the song differently. She closed her eyes, letting the lyrics pour through her, as though she were singing a love letter to the world. Halfway through the performance, something magical happened. The studio grew silent, as if even the air paused to listen. The coaches leaned forward, visibly moved. The other contestants were good, but Sofia's voice cut through like light through the clouds. When the final note faded, the audience exploded into applause. The decision wasn't difficult, Sofia advanced. But backstage, she embraced her fellow singers tightly, whispering, "You were amazing. Thank you for sharing the stage with me." Her humility only deepened the coach's admiration. She wasn't just singing to win, she was singing to connect. That night, her mother hugged her tightly. "Anik, whatever happens, remember, you already touched hearts. That's bigger than any tro." When the semifinals came, Sofia made a bold decision. She chose to sing a song close to her heart, "Dance with My Father," by Luther Vandross. She dedicated it to her father, who had been working abroad for years and had missed birthdays, Christmases, and countless moments of her growing up. As she sang, her voice carried not just notes, but longing. Her eyes glistened, and at one point, her voice cracked slightly, but instead of faltering, it only added rawness to the performance. The cameras panned to the audience, where her mother was openly weeping. What Sofia didn't know was that the producers had arranged a surprise. As the final verse swelled, a figure walked quietly onto the stage, her father, home earlier than expected. The moment Sofia turned and saw him, her knees buckled. The microphone slipped slightly as she threw herself into his arms, sobbing uncontrollably. The audience cried with her, even the coaches wiped away tears. The performance went viral overnight, with millions watching the clip online. Comment sections flooded with words like, "She reminded us what music is all about, love, family, and truth." Sofia didn't just win applause that night, she won hearts across the nation. Scene 5, the Grand Finals, a once-in-a-lifetime voice. The Grand Finals arrived. Sofia, now more confident but still the humble girl from Cavite, stood center stage in a sparkling white dress. She chose a song no one expected, an original piece she co-wrote with her coach titled, "Sa Puso Ng Bata." The song spoke of hope, resilience, and dreams too big for small rooms. As she sang, her voice soared, powerful yet angelic, resonating through every corner of the studio. The crowd was silent, almost reverent, as though afraid to miss a single note. When the final line ended, there was a heartbeat of silence, and then, thunderous applause. The coaches stood on their chairs, clapping and cheering. Her mother and father held each other in the audience, crying with pride. When the host announced her as the grand champion, Sofia fell to her knees, stunned. She looked up, clasped her hands together, and whispered, "Salamat po, Lord." But beyond the trophy, the real victory was clear. She had become a symbol of hope, not just for children chasing their dreams, but for families who believed in the power of love and faith. Her story was told in newspapers, trending hashtags, and across living rooms in the Philippines. Yet, through it all, Sofia remained the same gentle girl who once sang in a cracked-walled home, dreaming of lights and infinite audiences. And now, those lights weren't just a dream, they were her reality. She was, indeed, a once-in-a-lifetime talent.